Max Verstappen reveals why he hates F1 sprint races. Formula One hotshot Max Verstappen has revealed why he hates sprint races. It also got us thinking, what would this mean for him and fans? With more races on the calendar, there would be more opportunities to attend. Will fans have a harder time attending all events due to conflicting schedules? Will this also be expected when attendance increases? Max Verstappen has his own views. Hi guys, and welcome back to Race Pace. Now what about the racing itself? Why doesn't Verstappen like F1 sprint races? He tells us that there are two reasons why they are so difficult. First of all, they're unpredictable. If a car breaks down or crashes in the middle of the race, this can change who wins in a huge way. This unpredictability can be thrilling when you're watching from home, but as a driver, you don't want to rely on luck. You want to know what your chances are of winning at any point in the race, and then live with that certainty until you cross the finish line. Verstappen also said that he finds it boring that drivers in sprint races have to push at full throttle for 1 hour, and that he wishes there was a better balance between the action on track and a chance to relax in between. I would like to see more pit stops and a greater variety of strategies, he said. He also indicated that he is not impressed by the fact that only the top 3 finishers are rewarded with points each race weekend. You can finish 4th or 5th, but you get nothing, he complained. That's not right. Verstappen has always been outspoken about his dislike of the format since it was introduced by Liberty Media. The 24-year-old driver believes that the format doesn't do F1 any favors and makes it harder to create a good show for fans around the world. He says that he wasn't surprised by Liberty Media's decision to increase the number of sprint races on the calendar, but also said that he hopes they will make some changes in order to make the racing more exciting for fans and TV viewers. Max Verstappen took to Sky Sports to express how much he is not a fan of the sprint race format. "I'm not a big fan of these sprint races," tweeted Verstappen. The reason why he does not like the format is because it does not allow him or anyone else in the field any time to rest and relax. He also said that it's hard for drivers to keep their concentration up during this kind of race because they can't really think about much else other than just trying to finish the race before they run out of fuel. "I want to relax when I watch F1, said Verstappen in another tweet. Formula One schedule has remained largely unchanged since 1993. The season consists of 20 races, with 1 race on each of the following 6 weekends: Malaysia, Bahrain, China, Spain, Monaco, and Austria. That has been the pattern for over 2 decades now, but it may soon change. According to a BBC report from today, Liberty Media is mulling over the possibility of increasing the number of race weekends by 50% from 3 to 6. F1 boss Ross Brawn has revealed that he hopes to double the number of sprint races on next year's calendar, with discussions to be held next week. Brawn had been pushing for a greater number of races in the weeks leading up to the end-of-season Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, with an extra race planned for the season's finale weekend. However, confirmation of this would have meant altering the tracks which hold Grands Prix throughout the year, with concerns over costs and logistics preventing agreement being reached. The teams will meet again next week, with Brawn keen to discuss options for including more sprint races in future seasons. He told Autosport, "We need to look at it carefully and work out whether we can add them without changing the current schedules." With the new season getting closer, F1's rulemakers are planning to discuss a number of changes to the sport at next week's meeting in Geneva. Among these is a wish to extend the number of sprint weekends from its current level of 3. Ahead of next week's meeting, it has been confirmed that F1 boss Ross Brawn will be pushing for the number of sprint weekends to be doubled. The meetings took place between April 19 and 21, with teams and other key stakeholders invited to attend. Last year, following feedback from fans, it was announced that there would be more opportunity for on-track action during events, with a sprint race taking place on basically all weekends except for those featuring a night race. This change was intended to help improve the show and give fans a better look at their heroes in action. It's believed that Brawn is keen to see this system extended further, and discussions will take place over whether it would be possible to have a sprint race on every single weekend of the season, barring any which fall on Formula One's annual summer break. It's unclear whether Braun believes that 3 days of racing alone would not be enough for spectators, or if he believes that having at least 1 day for practice or qualifying would be necessary. Great racers like Max Verstappen might hate the shorter F1 races because they take away the excitement of a full-length Grand Prix. He says that in the longer races, there are more possibilities for things to happen, and it's harder to predict how the race will turn out. He says he doesn't like it when it's only about who can push the hardest over a few laps. He also complains about being forced to change his tires early, which robs him of grip and makes it difficult to pass people. Early tire changes are mandated by F1 rules in order to keep the racing close, but Verstappen thinks it's unfair that drivers who qualify well are put at a disadvantage by having their tires worn out before those who qualified badly. The final talks will take place this week between representatives from Liberty Media and the F1 teams, and a majority vote is required for such an important decision to go through. It's going to be an interesting discussion, as it's not clear whether teams will agree to expand their calendars or not. One thing that should be considered is that there would be more prize money involved in an extra weekend of races. A second consideration is that if the calendar expands by 50%, then the series would run 23 days longer than it does now. If a team runs their cars at full speed on Fridays, they would have to use 24 engines instead of 12, an increase of 100%. Unsurprisingly, some teams are skeptical about agreeing on such a radical change to the current schedule. On Tuesday, we want to discuss increasing it to 6. We like to have 6 sprint races next year. I think we can see the success, and I think we didn't know quite where we were last year with the old cars. I think the teams can see the way this is feeding into the new cars and the philosophy of new cars. I'm optimistic that they'll see the value in it and what we're giving the fans. I think one thing you should always remember about the sprint is that it gives you a great Friday as well. We have qualifying on Friday. We have 3 days of action for the fans, and we can't ignore that. What do you think about F1's new decision? How does this affect Verstappen's rapid development? Leave your views on this new development in the comment section, and don't forget to hit the like and subscription button to get notified when a new video is out. Bye, and thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.